Today's lesson will show how water can be separated into two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. There are several variations to this process, but we will use the steps shown on page 61 at the bottom of the page. Breaking the strong bond between hydrogen and oxygen was so difficult, many early scientists thought that water was an element. We know today that electricity can be used to separate water into hydrogen and oxygen by the process of electrolysis. Students will add 2 teaspoons of Epsom salts, 25 milliliters of distilled water to a beaker. Students will cut back the insulation from both ends of the copper wire and connect the wire to one end of the alligator clamp. They will fill 2 test tubes with the salt solution and invert into the beaker. They will insert the copper wire into the rest of the tube. The other end of the alligator clamp will be connected to the battery terminals. When everything is connected, the electricity current will flow from the battery through the solution and back to the battery. Students should immediately begin to see bubbles forming from each of the copper wires, which is known as electrode. Copper is not the best electrode to use. It causes some interference with the reaction we want to see. Graphite electrodes or platinum electrodes will give a better result. Another setup might be this. The problem is that it may leak. Nevertheless, the activity demonstrates the main concept that water can be broken down into 2 elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Students should be cautioned not to improvise chemicals or equipment on their own. For example, if table salt is used as the electrolyte, it will produce sodium hydroxide and chlorine gas, 2 dangerous chemicals. Be sure to investigate the scientist mentioned in the story, dumping a bad theory, on page 57. Each of the following scientists helped to overthrow the bad theory that fire, water, air, and earth were the simplest forms of matter: Henry Cavendish, Antoine Lavoisier, Joseph Priestley, and John Dalton. As a teaser, see if they can find which of the 4 scientists was beheaded by French authorities.